There's more to a theater production than what the audience sees on stage. The process the Family Community Theater uses begins more than a year in advance. How do we get from the auditions to applause? Mary Kay Dechant discusses this and more in Making of a Musical, FCT Style.
Short people. Okay. The cast returns to the stage. They bow. The audience claps. They get to their feet. But wait, this is not the beginning of the story, but the end. Family Community Theater's annual major musical that is on stage in February at the historic Memorial Hall begins over 16 months earlier and has been repeated every year for the past 30. The journey to Annie, the 2019 musical, began in October 2017 when the board of directors chose Annie from a list of scripts and chose the other shows for the 30th season to be announced at the 2018 musical Beauty and the Beast. Production rights are paid, the director is chosen, and Memorial Hall is rented. Auditions for acting, music, and dance were held on November 9th, 2018, and 72 cast members announced the following week. The staff, consisting of a director, his assistant, music director, choreographer, set designer, prop mistress, house manager, costume designer, publicity guru, began meeting weekly. I was the assistant this year, but have served in other roles as well. Rehearsals beginning with choreography started early December 2018. It's a Hard Knock Life, which involved all 16 orphans, was a major number. General rehearsals began January 2019, and each Sunday rehearsal included a cast meeting to review policies and keeping the cast up to date with rehearsal schedules that may have they probably did change during the week. It's not easy juggling schedules for 4 choreographers, a music director, and actors. Besides large group numbers, there are small group and solo numbers. These are usually the principals, and they are in high demand. There's not much downtime with rehearsals 4 times a week. This particular show had 22 songs and dances. Some shows have even more, but seldom have less. The first 4 weeks are pretty much dedicated to music and dance. We've been fortunate that our music director and choreographers work well together since there's a lot of overlap and there's a lot of give and take necessary. Cast is given music at the rehearsals, but are expected to practice at home. Music can be downloaded, and the music director often posts particularly difficult segments as well. Solos within songs are assigned by the music director depending on vocal requirements. At auditions, the cast is taught a very simple dance, but at rehearsals, they are often asked to step out of themselves and learn more complicated moves. We have choreographers that can make almost anyone look good, or they'll put you in the back. While the cast is busy at rehearsals at Prairie Hills Middle School, the set crew is spending time at the fairgrounds. We rent the Bison Building Breezeway for 2 months to construct the set, but the set designer has been collecting supplies and designs for months. Detail painting is also done at the fairgrounds. We reuse and repurpose almost everything that we possibly can from our warehouse. I know that some of these pieces are used in every show. I myself have painted some of them several times. And we're also working on a community children's event, I Love New York, at this same time. Costumes set the stage and the mood of a play and a musical. A costumer researches the period and styles of the time. Annie was set in 1934 and had to reflect common people, the homeless, and the wealthy. Getting girls to understand that women wore hats and gloves at this time was a real lesson in fashion history. We have a costume shop full of treasures, and our costume mistress would search the rack for clothes that could be used or made to work. Most of this show was costumed in-house, but other times extensive expenses incurred for buying and renting costumes. In addition to learning their music and dance, the cast was supposed to be learning their lines. This was relayed at some of the early rehearsals, but it still took them by surprise when they were supposed to be off book. I read lines for many of the characters. I was considered Annie's understudy. Yeah. Many other things are going on while cast rehearse. Props are being gathered or created. Posters are being designed and distributed. Contacts with the news, the radio. Ticket sales begin both in our outlets and by the cast. Family members are often asked to help. Saturday, February 9th, trucks and trailers are loaded at the fairgrounds. The sets that were built had to be disassembled. And then you arrive at Memorial Hall, things had to be unloaded and reassembled. And they don't always go back together exactly the same. There's always a plan B and sometimes even a plan C. Sunday, the first day of Tech Week, usually begins at 10 a.m. for the crew, with the cast arriving about 1 p.m. Dressing rooms are assigned, costumes distributed, final touches putting on the set, including a 9-foot Christmas tree complete with lights and ornaments. Stage lighting usually takes about 4 days, and the day ends at 10 p.m. The orchestra arrives on Monday. There are 19 as well as the conductor. They come from the community and add an element of live music that is unusual to this area. There's props, makeup, costumes, live music, all for the first time. Tuesday is much better, and the lights are ready to be added. Microphones are added. Orphans have bedding on their beds, and the homeless have fire in their barrels. Wednesday is dress rehearsal. Thursday, opening night, with a total attendance of 2,872 for 4 performances. The audience applauds. Some get to their feet. The final show is over. But wait. There's strike the set, return the scripts, take the equipment back, clean the costume, pay the bills, about $25,000 this year. Start again. Last November, we selected Seussical the Musical. And now you know how we get from auditions to applause. See you at the theater.